Well, we're waiting.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Diablo 4. The queues are long, the servers are crashing, even though it's early access, pre-order, beta, still a million people basically watching on Twitch, all pandemonium. But for the most part, it looked like a pretty fun time. I was gathering feedback the entire time I was rolling the dice in Vegas for my birthday this weekend. Unfortunately, not able to play. And there was some people that had some gripes and talked about pacing. This isn't a zoom action RPG. It is very story driven with good cinematics and pretty gameplay. But the overwhelming majority of my community said it was a positive experience and they really enjoyed it. Also, it's only the first act, level 25. So I'm sure the game, like other action RPGs, will speed up a little bit as you get to end game. And there's going to be so much more to explore. And even though I wasn't able to play it, I can tell you I've been doing lots and lots of research and listening to the community, and I wanted to make this first kind of reaction video. And don't worry, of course, I'm going to be playing the next coming weekend where I can give you my actual in-depth in-game response. And I'll be honest, I'll tell you straight up what I think. So check out some of these articles, okay? I'm not only going to read the headlines. I will literally link every single one of these in the description if you want to go check them out for yourself. So basically, I'm linking my sources. Kotaku, and I hate a lot of these websites, by the way. Kotaku, Diablo 4 is the perfect head-empty kill shiz game. Blizzard's up-and-coming action RPG represents a gratifying and rewarding time fighting off hell. So Kotaku, of course, is giving it a thumbs up. And by the way, when I was doing research for this video, there are hundreds of how-to dungeon and how do you do the map and crafting and like if you need something answered, oh, this puzzle, where to go, pathing, all that's out there. Barbarian, how to make this, low light, it's out there. Most of the stuff I found was that how to. These were the articles I found that had some interesting headlines. Moving on to Rock Paper Shotgun. Diablo 4's beta shows a gripping, if self-conscious, revitalization of the series. What fresh hell this is. Another overwhelmingly positive article talking about how you had D1, which led to D2, and then D3, which was a little off, and then you get the return to darkness, and boy, is it dark. That is what Rock Paper Shotgun is saying. Moving over to PC Gamer. Diablo 4's beta dungeons criticized as repetitive and cookie cutter. And this is something I saw over and over again. Even though there's hundreds of dungeons in Diablo 4, even if you played these 10 and then these 10, they all weirdly feel the same, even though that they are different. So interesting take from PC Games N. Moving over to Forbes. So what was bad about the Diablo 4 beta? And it was interesting because I kept seeing negative articles over and over again. And I know it's like positive ones don't get the clicks, the negative ones do. So I mean, I understand that sentiment. Okay. So again, the people in my community overwhelmingly positive. But this is what Forbes said. Tech issues, map problems, the UI, fast travel, aesthetics at times, MMO things, enemy density and diversity, and they were playing it safe. Those were the negatives that Forbes found at the beginning. And the last headline I want to show you, again, all these will be linked in the description. Game Rant. Diablo 4 players unhappy with the game's UI. I feel like the few complaints I got personally, like people reaching out to me, I played it, not my cup of tea. Games UI was one of the biggest ones. And that is something that if Blizzard truly listens to the community, you can put options for move it, minimize it, change it. Like I feel like the UI is one of the things where you can likely, if you give options to it, you can make everybody happy. Not everybody, but most people. Okay, so those are the 5 articles that I saw. Then I saw something else. Asmongold did a 20-minute reaction to playing Diablo 4 over the weekend. And I'm not going to react to the entire 20 minutes, but I thought there were some interesting points in the last 5 minutes. I thought there was some interesting points in the last 5 minutes.
A little bit more about the open world content and the MMO nature of the game. I heard from a number of people that Diablo 4 really felt like much more of an MMO than an ARPG. And I think that, I mean, as somebody who's an MMO player, I think this is great. I'm very happy about this. And I went through and I played Diablo 4. I interacted with other players. It was seamless. They were never annoying. They never made my experience worse. And overall, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And I like the idea of going into town and seeing other players. And, you know, I hate to say it, but Diablo Immortal did this too. And the truth is that it was really fun in Diablo Immortal too. So I'm really glad to see them add that same functionality into Diablo 4 and make the game feel a little bit more open. And
I'm going to pause right there. I didn't pull that up because it's like, dude, Asmongold's talking about how D4 feels like Diablo Immortal. It's technically not what he's saying. He's just saying he likes seeing other people around, very MMO-esque.
Allow you to interact with other people. You can, I think, inspect them, look at their gear, which is, I think, super important in an ARPG. And I think overall, the open world aspects of the game, the world boss and everything, I think it's really cool and I like it a lot. I can see how some people that were purists of the game wouldn't have the same opinion, but for me, I think it's fucking great. So anyway, that's some of the main feelings that I have about Diablo 4. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'd really want to go through. Obviously, you know, like a lot of intangibles, things like graphics, things like the menus, etc. I think all that stuff is fine. There's nothing really bad about it. It's good. It's definitely passable. There are a lot of people that have been negative about Diablo 4 because, you know, it doesn't make them feel the same way that Diablo 3 or Diablo 2 did. I think that in a lot of cases, that's probably a product of its time, and I'm not necessarily sure that you can have any game that'll make you feel that way again. But if you do find one, please let me know too, because I'd love to have that feeling again. Diablo 4 didn't really do that for me either, which is why it's not some sort of like a 10. Again, this is not Elden Ring, okay? It's not the, you know, greatest level of innovation in ARPGs since Path of Exile. But it's a good, solid game. It seems fun, and it seems like Diablo isn't really trying to compete as much with Path of Exile. They're trying to broaden the scope of what the ARPG genre is and appeal to a
Bingo. Bingo. It's always what's going to be bigger, D4 or PoE 2. And they might as well be separate genres. I mean, I literally haven't played either of them yet, but that's what it's talking about is D4 is trying to cast the largest possible net. D4 can be played by my 17-year-old on the other side of this wall, to my wife, to the Diablo fans, to the PoE fans, to the MMO fans, to the action RPG. Like they're casting a large net and making an overall fun game. But if you are an ARPG purist, it's not going to feel like the other Diablos. Possibly.
A more casual gamer and a person that wants to be able to go into the game, understand it, and play it without using a bunch of different spreadsheets and looking things up online, at least too much, until they get to the Paragon board, that is. So overall, my feelings on the game are overwhelmingly positive. I'm very happy about it. I think that I'm reserving judgment for a lot of different things like end-game systems, etc. But my main concern with the end game is actually very similar to my concern with the itemization, which is why would I want to play Diablo 4 Season 6 just to go and run the same dungeons again and again and again? Because Path of Exile has such a great tiering of their progression content. You know, you've got maps, you've got you've got the boss maps, you've got other bosses, you've got Shaper, Elder, Uber Elder, Sirius, the Conquerors, the Elder Guardians, the Shaper Guardians, and there's the Exarch and the Eater of Worlds, and there's all these different benchmarks, Cortex. There's all these benchmarks that the player can put themselves up against and then try to overcome this challenge. And I'm very concerned that Diablo 4 won't have that, and the end game won't feel as fulfilling as the Path of Exile end game does. That's my biggest actual concern with the game, is that the Diablo 3 end game, I played a few seasons in Diablo 3, even in Reaper of Souls. It's fucking boring. All you do is run rifts. That's it. It's like, imagine in PoE, if the only thing that you could do is run tier well, you could just run infinitely tiered maps. So like instead of running a tier 15 or tier 16 map, you're running like a tier 27 map. And if you get hit once, you're dead, but you can kill everything in like 2 hits because you're built completely for damage. That's basically the way that Diablo 3 rifts work. I mean, not exactly, but you can see kind of what I mean. Think about, there's no other activities. There's nothing else to do. All you do is you just run rifts and that's it. I find that to be so boring. And that's my biggest concern with Diablo 4, is that the end game will just simply be boring. It will be repetitive, not fun, not innovative. There won't be benchmark bosses, there won't be capstone challenges, and I really hope that doesn't happen, because I really want to enjoy the game. I've had a lot of fun playing the beta. I'm probably going to go play it right now. But the truth is that a level 25 beta doesn't really give you a lot of insight into the end game, and with a game like Diablo, you're going to be through this type of content in like 2 or 3 days. So unless you only expect people to play the game 2 or 3 days, what do you do after that? Well, that's what really matters. So we'll just have to wait and see what that actually looks like. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I wanted to go out and talk about this, but yeah.
Thank you, sir, for the reaction. People keep asking me over and over again, Aaron, is this going to be your new #1? Do you plan on playing it? Yes, I plan on playing it. Yes, I plan on covering it. Yes, I plan on streaming it. As of right now, Last Epoch is my current #1, and I do not plan on changing that at all. But obviously, when your YouTube channel says Action RPG, and you built the channel off of D2, of course, you're going to be playing some D4. But I just want to shoot everyone straight. I'm going to tell you my honest opinions. And if that's I love it, then I love it. If I hate it, I'm going to tell you I hate it. And we will see this coming weekend. So this is what I want to hear from you in the comment section. Do you agree with these articles? Do you agree with what has been said at the end? I will also link this video in the description as well if you want to watch the entire 20 minutes of his breakdown. Again, had a really, really good time in Vegas for my birthday. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. Always overwhelmed by this community. 2 asks at the end of this video. Ask #1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it. It really does help the channel as we move forward in 2023. Ask #2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 66 members that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. Weekly blog post, weekly podcast, access to the VIP lounge so you could chit chat with me every single day, chance to win custom merch, lots of other goodies, best way to support me into the future. That is the first link in the description. That's all I've got. Hopefully you were entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.